Greetings, Crusaders! It is I, Tyrodin Reinhardt, and today I will be speaking to you about the finer points of what it means to be Reinhardt in a game of Overwatch.
And also the finer points of what it means to be a truly good player in Overwatch. Isn't that right, Reinhardt?
Yes, of course. I would never ever do anything to lead you down the path of being a bad player in Overwatch. At all. Never. No. Never.
Okay, that's good, because for a moment there I thought you were going to say something that would be counterproductive to what we're trying to achieve.
My dear, stupid, simple little Sean, would I ever do such a thing? Have I ever led you wrong before?
Well, there was that time in Eichenwald where you were like, "Oh, Sean, hold this position, it could be really good, rah.
I did not. I never did such a thing. I would record this in a heartbeat. I don't remember this. Not at all. I only have the best of information to give to all of my friends and my Crusaders. Why would I lead you astray?
Well, this is true, and these make all valid points. Alright, we should probably get into the nitty-gritty of this guide then. So, what makes a great Reinhardt? Well, first to establish this, we need to go over the very basics.
Yes, that would be the very core concepts of what makes a great Overwatch player. Not just a good Reinhardt. Yes, tell me, little Sean.
So to me, there are 5 core pillars to which I adhere to personally, those of which happen to be good communications, a good team composition, good positioning in general, good game sense, and positive reinforcement. Communications is, I believe, one of the most important aspects of these pillars, if you will. Without communications, a team can make or break. It can really fall apart on a dime. In my experience, comms can be the deciding factor in a victory or a defeat. The ability to communicate effectively with your teammates, target calling, target positioning, where and when an ulti is ready, what ultis the enemy may have available, and not just that, but also just combining ultimates together. A general sense of team cohesion is needed, absolutely, by communications. Communications is the foundation stone of any team-based game.
Yes, that's very interesting. Now tell us something we don't already fucking know, Sean.
Well, I was just giving my 2 cents on the issue. But anyway, so the second pillar that I find is crucial in these games is team composition. The ability to effectively see an enemy team comp, and if it's running counter to your own, to switch, changed out. Whatever you need to counter the enemy team, communicate that effectively with the rest of your oppos and be like, okay boys, they've got a Pharah, we do not have a McCree or a Soldier or another hit scan, switch on, let's do this.
Yes, everybody already knows that. Why are you just repeating things that people already know? I mean, I don't understand this little man.
Well, again, some people might not know this, so I'm just attempting to reiterate a point.
Yes, continue with the next one.
So the next one then would be, I believe, positioning. Positioning is absolutely crucial in team-based games. Dota 2 is the perfect example of this. I have over 4,500 hours on Dota 2 because I had no life in 2012. So I had a lot of time to play Dota 2. I guess during this period, it gave me a greater appreciation for tactical positioning in a team-based game. Obviously, Dota 2 is completely different from Overwatch in terms of how effective positioning is, but that doesn't render the point mute. I mean, at the end of the day, positioning is core in Overwatch. If you've got a Widowmaker or a Soldier 76, any other hero that can get into a position that is tactically advantageous to the team, it's going to do wonders for your team and it's going to devastate the enemy team. So I would say that yes, positioning is as important in Overwatch as it is in any other team-based game.
Not a bad point. I definitely understand why that is a thing, but again, carry on.
I guess then the next key point for me would be game sense. The ability to read a situation and adapt to it, to overcome that situation. Now, in-game, this can be one of many things. This could be perhaps you are being assaulted by an enemy Reinhardt and you've got a Soldier 76 and a Pharah just absolutely raining fuck upon your team, and you've got to read that situation, because how's the best way to counter what they're directly putting in my face? And that might be to get a teammate to switch onto another hero to effectively counter them, and or it might just be that no one else can really do the job effectively, so you are going to switch on to a hero to counter them. You're going to be the guy that says, I know how to counter this composition, this is what I'm going to do about it. And then you relay that to your team. You use your team composition, your comms, and your positioning to outplay the enemy team, to give your team the best possible source for a victory if you can accomplish that. In a way, game sense is the acclamation of every sort of former pillar that we've discussed. It is knowing when to act, how to read what an enemy is going to do, or potentially what they're going to do. It's really, it's a gamble, but it's a calculated gamble. And it's something that can ultimately determine whether your team is victorious or your team is defeated. It all comes down to that. And it's something that you can't teach. It's something that has to be earned through hours of playing this game and getting a general feel for when's the best time to dive into an enemy point, when's the best time to engage an enemy. Fundamentally, it becomes something that's so ingrained in the way that you play that you act almost on instinct alone when playing this game. It becomes second nature.
Interesting. Please, carry on. I want to hear a little bit more of this.
So I guess then the final pillar for me then would be positive reinforcement and the impact that it can have on a game, particularly a competitive game in this situation. So positive reinforcement to me is fundamental. You know, if you've got a team that are making really good plays, then reinforcing that through, you know, positive comments, you know, praise, etc., just makes the team feel like they're more than just individual players. Like they really are becoming like a single unit. You know, the worst thing I see in competitive plays are the salty motherfuckers. And we've all been there. We've all encountered these fuckheads, right? They're the guys that are like,
why did you do this? You've really fucked me over. Or why didn't you let me do that? Or he fucking killed me. Where was the shield, idiot?
You know, we've all dealt with these fuckheads before. We all know fuckheads like this as well. But that just is such a detrimental effect in your team when you get those players in there. And the best way to really counter them is through positive reinforcement. It's like, hey man, like you might have made a really numpty play and it's like, look, I've fucked up. And I've actually done this before. Like I have genuinely fucked up my ultis so many times or have been caught out of position so many times. And people get really salty about it. And it's like, we're only fucking human at the end of the day. We're all going to make mistakes. No one is perfect. No one is infallible. Otherwise, you know, we'd all be fucking gods at this game. No, everything is a learning curve. But these motherfuckers don't understand it. They don't comprehend it. They think they're God's gift to Overwatch. Do you know what I mean? It just runs so counterproductive to what you and your team are trying to accomplish that the best way to diffuse the situation is with positive reinforcement. Perfect example of this would be to use if a player is fucked up. 9 times out of 10, they're going to know that they really fucked up. Now, the worst thing you can do is to decry that person, call them out, call them a fuckhead, because that is just going to do nothing for them. It's going to erode their confidence and they're not going to be happy. The best thing you can do is be like, hey man, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. Let's regroup. Let's, you know, prepare for the next assault. And if you happen to lose off that play, then it's like, hey, don't stress about it. It's just a game at the end of the day. And they can take out some positivity from a negative situation. And it just alerts them to the fact that, yep, so they've misplayed. They know what not to do next time. And it will make them better players. You know, just reiterate that it's not the end of the world. It's just a fucking game. But yeah, just don't be that motherfucker that just calls people out and is just a general cunt. Because no one likes those people. No one. Fuck those people, man.
Well, you know you swear a lot, right? Like you really, really do swear quite a lot. It's actually a little concerning, you know, as a German.
As a German, that makes no goddamn sense at all. Why does nationality come into this?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? I don't... Look, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. I'm quite old, as you know. Yes, I'm quite old. Anyway, when are we actually getting into the part where it's like, hey, this is how you play Reinhardt. This is how you play with me.
Well, I'm getting into that right now, man, so let's do this. So the way that I treat Reinhardt is, it's like I'm playing a game of chess, right? So the way that I approach it in that respect is anything that I do has to be calculated. It's not just YOLOing in there and charging.
What do you mean it's not about charging in there? That's all I do. I see an enemy, and then the first thing I think is, right, Reinhardt, I need to charge at them. And then I charge, and then often I hit them with my hammer, because, you know, it's all I have.
More often than not, that is definitely going to get you and your teammates killed. I would definitely not recommend this at all.
Fucking bullshit, lies, and slander. I do this all the time, and I never get my teammates killed. They get themselves killed. I had nothing to do with that at all.
That really sounds like you're a scheissheart. Just saying. It might not be the case, but you sound terrible.
Right, that's it. I'm leaving. I need to go and get something to eat. Fuck this. I'm out. Goodbye. You son of a bitch. Why you do this to me?
So anyway, yeah, like I was saying, so the best way to approach Reinhardt is to be reactionary. So you want to play as passively as possible to begin with, just to sort of ascertain what sort of team you're up against, whether they're incredibly aggressive or whether they're playing it sort of reserved and waiting for one of our team to fuck up. You know, this is all sort of applied to a competitive situation, because in quick play, anything goes, right? Anything goes in quick play. So playing passively doesn't mean that you have to play like a pussy, though. Continue to throw out those fire strikes and continue to call enemy positions. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that you can do as a Reinhardt, because you are at the front line, so you need to be the one that are calling these positions. You also need to maintain an effective shield barrier for your team. You need to mitigate damage where possible, and if you start taking too much, never let your shield break entirely. Generally, I, as a rule that I've established for myself, will never let my shield get around about below 200, and then I will tell my team that I'm dropping my shield to recharge it. It's just a fundamental of Reinhardt. You never ever want to let your shield deplete completely, because then you have to wait an additional 5 seconds for it to start to get up charge again, and in that 5 seconds an enemy could have moved in on you. An enemy could have taken full advantage of that and gone, okay, we know that Reinhardt shield is broken, we've got 5 seconds where he's going to be effectively dead weight. The only saving grace for that sort of a situation, if you've numptied like that, is hopefully you'll have Earth Shatter ready to go, and you can maybe hold him off for 2 seconds while your shatter takes its full effect. In saying that, you never ever want to rely on that, because it is a completely random element as to whether you have your Earth Shatter at that time or not. I mean, yeah, just never rely on that, because it's just silly. You always want to keep your shield up and never broken. And if it starts to depreciate, then tell your team you're going to drop it, and you jump back and you hide. You recharge your shield, you get back on the front lines, you begin to call positioning again. I mean, that's ultimately what Reinhardt is all about. He is there to serve a purpose, and that purpose is to guard his team. Your team is meant to play around the Reinhardt. Soldier of 76 is a perfect example of that. He can just sit behind your shield and pump out so much damage to an enemy Reinhardt or an enemy team composition, just because you're able to provide that level of cover. You know, working with your team effectively is fundamental as Reinhardt. You can't be a Reinhardt that doesn't communicate, that doesn't tell his team when his shield's going down, when it's coming back up, when he's going to ulti, when he's not going to ulti. It's absolutely fundamental for Reinhardt to be communicating with his team at all times. At least in my experience, I've never encountered a Reinhardt that doesn't do what I have done, but in saying that, I very seldomly encounter other Reinhardt mains, so maybe it's just a me thing. The other thing to really take into consideration for Reinhardt is, yes, he is a great shield, he's great at, mitigating damage, but by fuck, he is also a great offensive weapons platform when the time is ready. When you can see that the enemy team are bearing down on you, you've got Earth Shatter, your team is right behind you, and you're like, alright lads, watch this. Hold on to your fucking hats. And then you drop that Earth Shatter. Maybe you outplay an enemy Ryan just as he's dropped his shield. Or maybe they don't have a Ryan and you can just see that they're charging in on you. And you're just like, alright, this is my time. This is what I'm here for. You drop that fucking hammer and you go for gold. He can just be such a devastating platform. And the most effective way to Earth Shatter is, if you've got the time and the resources to do it, drop the Earth Shatter, 1 or 2 swings, fire strike, and then charge. Never ever Earth Shatter and charge, because that is just the biggest waste of time ever. It really is. Effectively, you've got 2.5 seconds for which to swing, fire strike, and charge. And it's really one of the greatest things in the world when you pull it off correctly. I mean, I guess the basics of Reinhardt is 1, defend your team at all times. 2, manage that shield. Do not let it drop down to 0%. You always want to have a shield ready to go for your team. 3, hold on to that ulti until you can see that you really need it. Don't just go dropping random ultis. I mean, it does nothing to you. Reinhardt builds it up very quickly, so I can definitely see the temptation. But if you need it, and you don't have it, then it's all for naught, and you just completely let enemy team run all over you, and that is on you. Never waste your ulti. Never waste it trying to chase kills when you know it could be used at a crucial point in the upcoming fight. Anyway guys, this has been a very basic fundamental guide to Reinhardt. If you'd like an advanced guide, let me know and I'll do it.
Skull Crusaders, I'm out. Auf Wiedersehen!